Welcome everyone. Welcome to Beginners in Charting Q&A. Appreciate. Hold on, someone got mic. Sorry. Yeah, next time I'll make sure to do this on stage. It's my apologies. But welcome. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Beginners in Charting Q&A. Appreciate you guys for being here. For those that are new to Beginners in Charting Q&A, this is something that we do every single week. This is an opportunity for you all to get your questions answered. Any question that you have, it could be related to trading, the strat, market structure, trading psychology, technical analysis. This is the opportunity for you to get every single question answered. Now, that is how we were doing beginner and charting Q&A for like the past month and a half or 2 months or so. But starting in September, as you guys know, we are doing things a little bit differently. Now we are going, every single beginner and charting Q&A is going to be related to a topic. And the topic you guys suggested in the feedback form. So I really do appreciate all of the suggestions and all of the topic ideas. It is my goal to answer as many of the topics and go through as many of the lessons as possible. So that's why we have a schedule. You'll be able to know which topic we're going to be going over during this beginner and charting Q&A, but I still don't want that to discourage you from answering any question in general. So even after we go through the lesson or the topic, the idea, and you guys answer questions related to that, then I still want you to ask any question if you've been wanting to ask it for the entire day, the entire weekend, or whatever. It can be related to anything. I want you to answer those questions, okay? So now the first topic of today or of September, or that we decided on, is going to be higher time frame targets and triggers. And this was actually a topic that a lot of you wanted us to talk about, like just how to take trades based off higher time frames. Now, first and foremost, these lessons ideas, it's going to be kind of impromptu. A lot of the topics are chart related, so I kind of just, there's not really going to be like, a presentation behind it. We're just going to be talking through TradingView and just be giving you chart examples. So I apologize if you wanted a presentation, but I feel like the impromptus and just going through the charts itself is going to be the best way to discuss these topics. All right, so the first topic, higher time frame targets and triggers. And I wanted to bring a couple of examples of why, one, I think they're very important, and two, why you can actually take trade ideas based off these higher time frame targets and triggers. Now, I'm going to, for this presentation specifically, everything is going to be related to the strat, because I think that's going to be, at least for this demonstration, it's going to be easy for you guys to follow along. So as right now, I have the ARC 12-month chart. All right, I have the ARC 12-month chart. Now, we all know that this represents the yearly time frame, and every single candle represents a yearly participant. So every single candle represents 365 days of movement, or whatever the number of days of price sessions that we have during the day, but it represents 1 year's worth of price action. Now, we all know that price is fractal, price is continuous, and because price is fractal and price is continuous, we are able to take trade setups based off the nature of price action. Now, when we take this fractal time frame, which is the 12-month chart, we need to think like 12-month participants. And what do we mean by that is that if we were to take a trade based off the 12-month chart, we have to do it with the understanding that it can take up to 12 months for it to play out. Now, right now I have ARC on the 12-month chart, and we're currently an inside 12-month, okay? Now let's assume, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, this is the 2023 candle. We're inside 12-month, and this is the 2023 candle. Now, let's assume the next candle opens up, okay? And price or time progresses, and we all of a sudden, let's see what happens. Price keeps going. And second, still inside on the year. ARC had no movement whatsoever. And still going down. Come on. This is taking way too long. Come on. There we go. Finally. Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, so ARC triggered a 212 reversal on the 12-month time frame. Now, let me ask you guys, feel free to let me know in the chat, unmute yourselves. Based off ARC triggering this 212 reversal on the 12-month time frame, what should I think about this? What are any observations? Like, what should I think about this? Anything. ARC just triggered 2 up on the year. We just traded above 2023's high. What should I think about this? Let me know in the chat. Ram says bullish. Okay. Anything else? Any observations? Any analysis that you guys think of because of the fact that we triggered a 212 reversal on the year? Ram just triggered 2 up. Anybody else? Take profit. Okay. Take profit from Sam, Paper Chaser. You need to be in that play at least 12 months. Okay. So we have bullish, just trigger 2 up in the year, potential take profit. You need to be the play in at least 12 months. Stratty says you have a 3-1-2 up. Oh, are you trying to say if you aggregate the candles, you have a 3-1-2 up? Because this is technically a 2-1-2 reversal. Any other observations? Any other observation? Any other? Tone. Target is a 2022 high at 97.17. Okay. 40G said small hammer. All right. So you need to be in the play at least 12 months. Just trigger 2 up. Your target is the 2022 high at 97.17. Okay. I actually want to take this into account because the title of this lesson is higher time frame triggers and targets. So if we look at the high of 2022, it's 97.17. All right. Let's see. You have Darius said invalidation, opposite end of the 1 candle. Okay, I like that. Invalidation would be the opposite end of the 1 candle. I'll even mark that as well. That you are correct. If I'm taking this in terms of if I'm taking into account the yearly narrative or perspective, the invalidation of this trigger would be the bottom of the 1 candle. You are correct. Grand Boss, entry was good, my guy. Entry will be at the top of the 1 candle. You are correct. You are correct about that. The entry would be at the top of the 1 candle. Bottom of the broadening formation. Are we talking fair value, guys? Not right now. Just talking in terms of strat lingo. But all of you guys are correct so far. Now, a couple of things that I want to take into account or that I want us to notice. One, someone said that, or one of the members said that the entry would be the top of the 1 candle since it triggered 2 up. So I would write my entry. That would be my entry. The invalidation would be the bottom of the 1 candle at 30.02, and the target would be at 97.17. Now, why should I believe that the target is going to be, because we triggered a 2-1-2 up on the month, or a 2-1-2 up on the 12 month, why should I believe that the target for this is going to be 97.17? Well, a couple of reasons. There's a lot, but there's a couple of reasons. First, if we take this in relation to the strat combo cheat sheet and our strat actionable signals, we know that a 2-1-2 reversal that just triggered to the upside, 2-1-2 bullish reversal, and let me just show you in the chart. We just triggered a 2-1-2 bullish reversal on the year. According to the strat, it says, based off the fact that you came off of consolidation on the yearly time frame, and we know that based off you breaking out of consolidation, you now can expand. Price has history. The high or the target for this potential breakout or this move would be at 97.17 until proven otherwise. Now, the until proven otherwise is that $30.02. Now, this is one of the reasons, right? One of the reasons is because Strat tells me that that's the case. Oh, but okay, I'm just learning Strat for the first time. I'm just trading Strat for the first time. Why should I believe that this is going to play out? You're telling me, you're showing me this guide or whatever this picture is. Why should I believe that this is going to play out? I have no evidence. I've never done this before. All right, let's take another example to see if this actually played out. Let's look at this chart right here. This is DoorDash. DoorDash 2023. Inside, it closed as an inside year. Same type of situation where you have a 12-month chart, you have an inside year close, you are coming off of the previous year before went 2 down on the year. And now you have the potential for the next candle. Oh, the next candle or the next yearly chart just triggered a 212 reversal on the yearly time frame. Well, let's take everything that we considered. A 212 up that just triggered, we know that our invalidation, this is going to be our invalidation because we triggered a 212 up. The opposite of a 212 up is a 212 down. So therefore, our invalidation would be the previous year low. Now, some of you may think or will literally say, whoa, 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 whoa. $100, that's our entry. $45.93, that's our invalidation. That's $60 to the downside. That's if I decide to take a trade and we all of a sudden are going down, I don't think I can allow this the chart to go $60 to the downside before I decide to get out. Well, we're going to be talking about that later. But in terms of the chart itself, the thesis itself, because you triggered a 212 reversal on the yearly chart, according to the strat, the target, the entry is 103.98. The invalidation is 45.93. And your target is the top of that 2 candle right there at 152.50. We can also relate it to that same diagram that tells us that if you trigger a 212 reversal on the yearly, right? 212 reversal on the yearly, and this is your entry, the target says that it's the top of the 2. Now, let me ask you guys, and let me know in the chat, because DoorDash triggered a 212 up on the 12-month, how long, if this actually is going to go to its target, how long can it take for it to get to its target? Let me know in the chat. How long can it take for it to get to its target? How long can it take? All right, so we got coming out the bottom of the broad information, 2 years, Ash, a year plus, up to 12 months, a year, 12 months, 2 years, 12 months, 12 months, 12 months. Okay, a lot of you guys are saying 12 months or higher. A lot of you guys are saying 12 months or higher. Beautiful. I know you guys know what you guys are talking about. And you are correct. It can take, I don't want to say it can take at least, but you should think of the trade because of this actionable signal or strat combo on this particular time frame. The time frame is also an indicator of how long it's going to take to potentially get to its target. I want you guys to write that down. The time frame itself is an indicator of how long it can potentially get to its target. So because this is a 212 on the yearly chart, it can take at least a year minimum. Now, it can do it in 3 months, it can do it in 6 months, but you have to give it at minimum at least a year, because of the fact that if it triggered the 2 up on the year, it may not give you the full target on this first candle. It can actually do it on the second candle or the third candle or the fourth candle or whatever candle afterwards. Now let me go to the monthly time frame. Okay. Now I want you to look at this. This is DoorDash on the 12-month, and this is a DoorDash on the monthly. And let's see how long it took for it to actually do what it needed to do. Okay, this is month 1, month 2, month 3, okay. Month 4, look at this, month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8. Also, peep that line. Peep that line. Just peep that line. Month 8, month 9, month 10. Look at that. Look at that. DoorDash in 10 months went to Target. And you know, y'all know me. I start getting excited when I look at charts. Look at where the retest was, though. It went up. It triggered the 212 up, and this is why I tell people, like, hey, you got the thesis. You got to trade things for the thesis. You just because price coming down, that doesn't mean that your thesis was invalidated at all. And DoorDash did it like that's why I see like TA is unbelievable because they do it so meticulous, like how it works. DoorDash triggered 2 up on month 212 up on the year during month 1, right? Or was it month? Yeah, month 2. So February, it went up. It was in force. Then in April, it gave you the TTO back down to the downside. And y'all know the way price action is. Price action don't just go straight up in a line. You have to come down in order for you to come up. And if you are taking this as a yearly participant, right? And we're taking things into the fractal nature. If you're a yearly participant, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to hold during that red month. Or maybe even during a red quarter. That's you have to think in that if I'm a yearly participant, yeah, and this is for those of you. I'm sorry that I go in tangents. This is why the ZS trade the leap that we got in a year ago, and when it was falling, it was like, well, there's nothing we could do because we're yearly participants. We had to hold during the red quarter, but I'll talk about that chart in a little bit. But anyway, back to DoorDash, right? So you get that TTO back to the downside. They not only just give you a CCRP with the hammer, they retested the entry of the yearly chart or the yearly trigger. Remember how we leave our labels on our lines? Why the reason why all of our lines are color coded, 212 up on the year, we label 212 up on a 2 year, we label all of our lines, is because they will retest that trigger. This was the 212 up on the yearly right here. And what did they do? They retested it. What month was this? In July, 6 months later. Mind you, your DoorDash trade that you had took it back in February, it didn't invalidate. It didn't invalidate. You're down. You're down. These red months, you're probably down because you're now going back to your trigger. But in terms of your thesis was based off the 212 up on the year. If it triggered 212 up, your target is 152.50 until proven otherwise. Or it has to invalidate below $45.93. So the reason why I'm bringing up this DoorDash is because, and you guys probably heard me in live where I've talked about DoorDash, but man, DoorDash, because DoorDash was the trade in 20. This one did DoorDash. DoorDash is one of like the reasons why I believe it leaps. Because I was like, man, it has a 212 up in the year. It has the potential to do it. And I just missed it. I got like a little bit, but it really didn't do much. But like seeing it play out, I was like, yo, this stuff actually works. Like you just got to really take into account like, this actionable signal that I'm seeing on this yearly chart, I really have to think as a yearly participant. If it got a 1-3 on the year, and that thing closed at the top of the yearly, I'll see you in 2027. See you in 2027. Because you know it can do this. It can do the same thing that DoorDash did, where it triggers the first quarter, boom, we're in force. And that's why I tell people, like, everything is fractal. When you're taking a 2 up on the day, right? You're taking a 2 up on the day trigger, and then all of a sudden the next 30-minute candle, it comes down. Oh my gosh, I'm down 30%. You can't do anything. Because you're a daily participant. You're a daily participant. For all we know, the last 30 minutes of the day, kind of like today, where the market just said like, oh yeah, we definitely gonna be a hammer today. The last 30 minutes, they can actually do the move that you intended it for it to do. So that's why the time frame that you take the trade on, you guys heard me always say that the time frame that you take the trade on is a time frame that you have to take trade in alignment with that participant. Okay, so that time frame will tell you it is literally an indicator for how long the trade can take. And the beauty about this, and I'll show you this with another example, is that when you are looking at the higher time frame signals, you need to look at other time frames to pretty much provide you with an extra confluence that we're truly going to do that move. Okay. Vish asked, which option would you have if I, looking back now, because obviously it is in hindsight, right? But looking back now, was it 2023? It would have been some 2025s. It would have been some 2025s, like December 2025. Now, still looking back at the price action, because of this downside dip, I wonder, I mean, you could only, think in hindsight. I wonder if I would have had to, or price going down would have made me had to adjust and say, oh, I'm probably supposed to get at least like maybe June of 2020, 2025. I don't know, because obviously, it's back then. But at now, what I know now, at least 2 years out, because unfortunately you have to take it, because you got to think about this. If you had bought, it's about to trigger a 2-1-2 up on the year, and we're now going into the month of January. Let me just get some Decembers. If you get some Decembers, yeah, you're eating during the month of February. You're eating during the month of March. But April, I'm only going to relate this to my experience. April, I probably would have, or not April, maybe May. May, during that down movement in May, I probably would have been a little spooked with my Decembers. So that's why I'm saying, like, okay, in the future, I probably either would have adjusted and said, maybe let me move it on and roll it out to March, or just before the play even triggers, I'm already thinking 2 years ahead, right? So hopefully that answers your question. I want to talk about another going back to ARK. So this is one of the reasons why, me personally, this is one of the reasons why I love ARK. Like, you guys hear me talking about ARK, and I'm like, bro, I can't wait Kathy to make a comeback. Like, I can be talking, because ARK is a 2-1-2 up on a year, and a target until proven otherwise is 97.18. 97.18. And if you go to the lower time frames, like, you can talk about it. ARK right now on the 6-month chart, like, I know it can come down. I know all of a sudden, September seasonality plays out, and then now we're a shooter on the 6-month, and now we're coming back down. Okay, DoorDash just showed me and proved to me, ADEX, you better not get out of the position until you better not get out of this position, but you should not even get startled until we even tap 54.52 and see what happens there. Not saying get out, but like not even thinking about it until we tap 54. And that's not getting out. That's not getting out. That's just letting me know, hey, we are now back at your entry. Because DoorDash in May, it came back at your entry. You would have had a trading view alert say, hey, we are now back at your entry. But guess what? You wouldn't have done anything. You're not supposed to, at least in terms of the setup, if you're trading it for the thesis itself. So I say that to say, going back to ARK on the 12-month, until proven otherwise, ARK is this. Until proven otherwise, we are this setup. And ARK, and this is why, like, I prefer, if you don't want to take a leap or something, hey, get shares. Get shares. If you're telling me you're going to go up and you just from 50 to 97, hey, that's not a bad return. You can do it in 3 years. You can do it in 4 years. All of a sudden, robots start coming out. Kathy wins. Hey, go to 200. But in terms of, and that's why, y'all, I love, you guys hear me talking about shares all the time, because they work on these higher time frames. Like, they actually work. So ARK is one example right now. We see the 2-1-2 up on the 12-month, and notice what did it do? At least a year. Because even though, and I got excited last year, ARK just broke 2-1-2 up on a year. Oh, we good. But guess what? They're like, nope, Kathy, not yet. Not yet. Maybe later, but not yet. So you had to wait a year, sit it out. But did it invalidate? No. And the next year, they're actually giving you the follow through, right? This signal is still actionable. It may not do the from entry to price target in one candle. It may take multiple candles, but as long as that signal is, the original signal is still in force, target or invalidate. Okay. Can we get some info on the option? Which one would take as per time frame? Example. Can you elaborate on that question? What do you mean? What do you mean? And while you do, let me go on another example. XLE. Okay. So XLE. And the reason why I talk about XLE is because for those that traded XLE back in 2021, y'all remember this. this was the infamous XLE price. And this is why, like, I love stocks, yo, because some of these charts, you're like, man, remember when XLE did that 113 on the quarter? Anyway, so you already know, trade strat, 113 on a 3-month. We know something is about to happen because of the fact, not just that, but you have a 113. So you consolidated for 6 months, and then you did a little liquidity sweep, AMD, and then now you went outside 3 month. And for the sake of this example, let me bring up the 6 month too, okay? So you have a 3 month and you have a 6 month. And we are about to enter January 2021. January 2021, all right? Let me mark the entry for the upside, and let me mark the entry for the downside. Okay, entry for the downside. All right, cool. So going into January 2021, XLE closed as a 1-3, or specifically, sorry, let me not a 1-1-3, a 1-1-3, and you are an inside 6 month. Now, according to the strat tells us that if you were to actually, no, let's just see. Wait, let's see what side it wants to break. Okay, so January 1st, 2021. Let's see. All of a sudden, XLE, boom. All right, cool. XLE has now chosen a side. It has chosen to break a 1-1-3-2 up on the 3 month chart, which it also coincides with a 2-1-2 reversal on the 6 month. Now, according to the 6 month time frame, because you broke a 2-1-2 reversal on the 6 month chart, the strat tells us, hey, XLE, you just triggered 4208. Well, you just now unlock the keys to the top of this candle, or the elevator to the top of the candle, whatever metaphor you want to use. Okay, now the target for it is going to be $61.31. That's for the 6 month chart. All right. Now the 3 month chart, also has a strat combo. And let me give you this one. Okay. The 3 month also has a strat combo. And the 3 month strat combo happens to be this 1-3. This is why I like the strat, bro. How are you just taking things off of diagrams? Anyway, 1-3-2 up on the 3 month. And according to this diagram, it says this is your entry. If you break the upside, your entries are here, and your price target is the top of the 2 candle right there. All right, bet. Say less. The top of the 2 candle, if we go back over here, do we have a high? Nope, not there. We go back one more. Oh, there's our high. Let's mark the top of the candle. Boom. All right. So according to the 3 month, the target is going to be $46.88. Now, this is where we start thinking about fractal natures and start incorporating multiple time frames together. You have a 3 month participant or 3 month signal that says, hey, you just triggered a 1-1-3-2 up off my time frame. You now unlock the key to go to $46.88. And right when you're about to be like, all right, thank you, the 6 month says, whoa, wait, hold up, wait. You also just triggered my time frame. And I know you're happy about 46.88, but you can also go to 61.31 if you really like to. And you're like, oh, really? 61.31? That's about $20 more, $15 more. That sounds nice. But then 6 months is telling you, okay, you can do that. But if you want to get to that 61.31, how much time is it going to take? Let me know in the chat. How much time is it going to take? Minimum. If you want to ride along with a 6 month participant or on the bus with the 6 month, how much time is it going to take for it to potentially get to the 61.31? Tone says at least 6 months, Invictus 6 months, Sam 6 months, Stratty 6 months. Good. You guys understand. Cool. At least 6 months. So you are at a crossroads, and this is why I kind of like this. You can choose. You can say, 3 month is not bad. That's about $4. XLE kind of moves like with a $4 move. That's like a good percentage gain. That's not bad. But then you're like, but $61 though, that's even better. But the 6 month requires that you have to potentially hold a little longer, because remember, y'all, it may not get there in that one candle. So you have to, that's why I say you're at a crossroads. You have to decide, do I want to be a 3-month participant or do I want to be a 6-month participant? You guys already know me. I'm going to choose a 6-month because I like the target over everything else. If the target says, hey, this $120 more, hey, fine by me. But you can choose. That's the beauty of it. And this example right here, I'm only showing you 2 time frames. There's other time frames involved in other strat combos that would give validity to this type of setup, because remember, we combine all of these strat combos together. The more strat combos with the more time frames that are triggering or have the potential to trigger makes it more of a viable trade or whatever. Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So now let's continue. So 1, 3, 2 up triggers on the 3-month and on the 6-month time frame. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the quarterly. Okay. Now, and you guys also know me, because we came off of a double inside 3-month. I'm not even thinking about the first 3 2 up. I'm thinking about the second one. So because and that's the fact that we came off of a double inside, that also gives me more of a reason to believe that you're probably going to go to that 46.88, because even if you don't do it in the first 3 2 up month, as long as you don't close within the candle and you're now looking like a shooter and looking like a potential AMD back down, you might give me the second 2 up on the 3-month time frame, just based off the fact that this is coming off of a double inside. Hey, we can even add that one together. I'm telling you, just add the strat combos together. Add the strat combos to double inside bar. See, double inside bar tells us, hey, you came off of a double inside, you have the potential to give us 2 extension candles to the upside. So this is 3. 1, we got this working with us, and we got this working in our favor. So let's see what happens. Go to up. Okay. First 3-month candle. See? Ooh, all right, look. First 3-month candle went to target. Congratulations, 3-month chart. You went to target. You can get off the bus, you can get off the station, collect your money, and you can go on about your day. But the 6-month says, hold up, though. You went to the 3-month target, and this is why I say you can choose your participant. You now going to the 3-month chart, or you now getting to the 3-month target, right? Gives you another reason to believe that price can continue as long as you can confirm above that 3-month pivot, which is at $46.88. And keep in mind, we're still got that double inside bar that we're working with, because we could potentially get that second 2 up candle on the 3-month chart. So let's see what happens. First 3-month keeps going. Now, the question of, oh my gosh, it got to 46.88. I took profits. I had 2 runners left. Like, why? But I took profits on those. But I didn't know price was gonna continue. Y'all, a lot of times I answer with, well, did you look at this time frame? Did you look at this time frame? And they were like, oh no, I didn't look at that. Well, because if you look at the 6-month, the 6-month said, whoa, that 46.88 was just a bus stop. That's not the final destination. We still here. So and so the 6-month chart is still working, and it's still giving you validity reason to believe that you can continue to the upside. Let's keep going. If this is the first 3-month candle, still pulling back. All right, cool. Now this is the second 3-month candle. Now this is the second 3-month candle. 1 second. Let's see what happens. Okay, look at that. We got a 2-2 continuation on the 6-month, or on the 3-month. We continue. Watch this. Look at this. Now, look at this. Okay, and this is July. Yeah, this is July. Okay, now look at this. We triggered a 2-1-2 up on the 6-month, right? But we didn't get to our target. We didn't get to the target, but remember, the trigger is still in force. Nothing has changed. The only thing that happened was just a new time frame that opened, but time still goes on, right? So nothing changed. You should still be in the trade because it's still actionable, and the target is still 61.31 until proven otherwise. And notice, look at what's going on. XLE is going down. We finally got a 2-2 reversal on the 3-month chart. Oh my gosh, we got a 2-2 reversal on the 3-month. I messed up. No, you didn't. No, sirree. No, you did not. because look at how it closed and look at where it retested. It retested that 3-month target and it hammered off of it. And look at what, and all it was just a 1-month TTO. You got one red candle that triggered 2 down, just a liquidity sweep. You hammered on the month, and then look how price is continuing to the upside. Now you have your second 6-month candle, and we are looking for that target at 61.31. And I don't even think they give it to you this candle. I don't think they give it to you this candle. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, cool. Good. All right. Quiz question. You have now seen that it has been 2 6-month candles. You've been in this trade for a year. Let's say you're starting getting frustrated. You're like, man, I've been in this trade for a year. It's been 2 6-month candles. I thought I was supposed to get into the second month. I thought it was going to happen on the second candle. What's going on? Let me ask you something. You are now wondering if this trade is still valid, or if it will continue to go to its target. You understand that you're above the trigger. You're way above the trigger. But you kind of are just a little bit worried that, man, is it really going to get to that 61.31? Like, will it really get there? Let me ask you guys, what do you have, or what is something that you can do that can help you figure out if the trade is still valid? What is something, there's no wrong answer. What is something, there's an answer I'm specifically looking for, but there's no wrong answer though. But what is something that you can do to see if the trade is still valid? Hey, good. Hey, look at the mentees coming now. I see y'all. Okay, look at little mentees. Hey, all right, D Money Toe Shelly, I see y'all. All right. Okay, look at higher time frames, 50% of the previous 6-month candle. Look at higher time frames. Alien House 43 hasn't closed below last quarter's low. Good. See higher time frame for actionable signal. Full time frame continuity. Watch 50% level of the previous 6-month candle. Good. Yeah. Oh, these are good. Great. Yes, you are right. So I see a lot of, I would say, a lot of higher time frames. Okay, a lot of higher time frames. Now, and all of these are correct. But the one I specifically want to teach and want you all to do is you must look at the higher time frame to see if it's still valid. Okay, and it's literally the one above. But you guys know me, I'm looking at every single time frame to see if it's still valid. But in this case, you always want to look at the one time frame above to see if it is still valid. So in this case, for the 6-month, and for the sake of this example, I don't literally mean 7-month. So like, I would mean 12-month in this case, right? So we go from the 6-month and we go to the 12-month. Now I know y'all gonna get a little intricate and start going, nope, we gotta look at the 7-month to see. That's perfectly fine. But in this example, let's go to the 12-month chart. And I actually am gonna bring a third chart up. 12-month. All right, 12. We'll do this. Cool. All right, here. So 6-month chart, right? It has been 2 6-month candles and you're now pissed off because you're like, man, we still haven't got the target yet. What's going on? But then you have to look at the higher time frame to see if the higher time frame is still valid. Notice that XLE, and mind you, the 6-month chart just closed. So, okay, so the new 6-month is going to open January 3rd, 2022. All right, so y'all know January 3rd, 2022, that also coincides with a new 12-month candle. It also coincides with the new 12-month candle. So now you think about it, and you're like, oh, hold up. So you're like, even though XLE had triggered that 212 up on the 6-month, everything was cool. But that entire time we just been inside year, and I'd be like, yep, you just were inside year. Be like, so we technically didn't do anything. Yep, technically didn't do anything. But even though I made some profit, like the chart didn't really. Yep, the chart didn't really do anything. I'm like, oh, interesting. But then I'll be like, but hold up though, you have a new 6-month candle opening up tomorrow, January 3rd, and you also got a new yearly. Guess what the yearly just gave you too? You got a potential 2-1-2 up on a 12-month, right? If I go back to this, give me 1 second. Up. Go back to XLE. All right. Now XLE is now showing you this on the 12-month chart. And so you have to consider this because although, yeah, sorry, unfortunately, you've just been consolidating, even though price has gone up, on in terms of the yearly perspective, price hasn't really done anything. As a matter of fact, it's telling you, hey, you should now even pay even more attention to XLE because you were actually in a state of consolidation on the yearly perspective. So you now mark your trigger and you're like, all right, bet. We have a potential 2-1-2 up on the yearly chart. And if we were to trigger a 2-1-2 up on the yearly chart, that trigger actually gets to my target that I've been waiting for the last 2 years. And so you're like, okay, cool. And so you're taking the weekly, I'm sorry, not the weekly, you're taking the yearly chart into perspective. You're still in the trade because there's no reason to get out. You now have a new quarterly, new 6-month, new yearly candle that is opening up. And you're waiting to see if it's going to potentially trigger. Oh, as a matter of fact, they give it to you on day 2. Look at that. XLE triggers a 2-1-2 up on the year. Notice that price was still continuous. Nothing happened. Just because we got a woo, happy new year, woohoo, New Year's resolution. Nah. XLE said we doing the same thing that we was doing the year before. We're going to go up. And guess what? It triggered 2 up. And let's see what happens with price. Price not only triggers 2 up on the year, it gets to your target that you've been waiting for. And mind you, y'all, if you take into account the 3-month time frame, everything started from that 113. That's why you guys know I love the 113s and the 13s, because I look back and I'm like, wow, everything started from that 13. And it's like, yep, it's all started from that 13. Even though it took about 18 months to get the target. But hey, that's why I say for those that are interested in leaps, these higher time frames, they actually like do the things that they need to do. And it's pretty cool. It's actually cool to see like, oh, something's coming off of double inside year. You're like, no way. And then we can come back, look at it two years from now and be like, wow, it really did the move. And it's like, do you guys remember iPay? We were talking about iPay last year, December. I don't know if people remember that. We were talking, or not even last year, December. I think it was 2 years ago. And it's now this is why I'm saying this stuff is so cool. Like, I don't know, man, shout out to Roland. But we were talking about iPay 2 years ago because it had the actionable signal. And I'll show you the chart. And it's doing it. So I say this to say that these higher time frames, if you actually, this is why I like the top-down approach. Because if I know you're coming off of an inside year or a double inside year, a 1-3 year, and you're currently actionable, I know that the higher time frame has more precedent over the lower time frames. Look at it. The quarterly triggered 2 down on the quarter. But the 6 months said, no, we haven't completed our objective yet. The yearly said, well, the yearly was still inside, so I won't take that into consideration. That's fine. But it triggered the 2-1-2 up. Now, what's even more fascinating about XLE, and will they let me do it? They probably won't. But what's even more fascinating, this is why I say, like, hey, I know we like liquidity sweeps and like trend line breaks, support resistance, demand zone, like they work on higher time frames as well. XLE had this trend line break, a 2-1-2 up on a year, and you know what it did? And this is why I tell people that the reason why I get mad when people talk smack about XLE, because I'm like, man, y'all just don't know. Because XLE back in 2022, when it PMG'd through, dude, this was when it PMG'd through years of price action. I know, like, it PMG'd through years of price action. And it said we are going back to the highs. This is on a yearly chart. On a yearly chart. And it did it. So LRLR, like OT, market structure, it works. It even works on higher time frames. It works. All right. So this was a couple examples. I do have a couple of more, but any questions? Any questions? How we feeling so far? Any questions? Any questions? Appreciate that, y'all. Hey, appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all. You guys know I can go all day with this, all day. Will you please briefly go over the 50% of the previous candle? Yes, I can. And let's take into account. So if we go back to our original thesis, let's say our original thesis was based off the 113 on the 3-month. 50% of that 113 off that trigger, price never retraced back. So that's why I love these higher time frames, especially when they like don't retrace back and they say like, bro, you never supposed to get out. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, never get out. I'm like, okay. So in this one, it never retraced back. Even if you're still in the trade, you now look at the 6-month chart and you notice that it triggered the 212 up on the 6-month. If you were to see, okay, is the next 6-month candle, is it still going to remain in force or is it still going to be valid, right? If you were to mark this 6-month candle, the 50% of the 6-month, price only wicks it. It never closes below. Never closes below. Okay. If we look at the yearly, we know, well, the yearly, this never came back to 50%. But yes, 50% is still an indicator that you guys should use. And I want people to remember this though. When you take in the 50% of that higher time frame signal, you do have to remember it's objective, no subjectivity in this. So it's understanding that price can go down to the 50%. It can retrace back down to 50% of the year. It can. But if it does not close below, there's no reason to get, oh my gosh, give me one example. Give me one example. Hold on. Let me give you one example. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Where is it at? SPY or ES better? Gonna be the better one. Who's gonna be the better one? SPY. Man, I wish ES was a little bit better. ES. What about QQQ? Thank you. All right, whatever, SPY. So SPY, remember, yearly. And I know it sounds crazy. But I want you guys to think about it because we all experienced it. We all were here for this. But SPY, if you took the 2-on-2 up on it, now I know this is not necessarily a strat combo. But let's just say your thesis was based off the 2-2 continuation on the yearly time frame, and your invalidation is this candle, right? The low of this candle, and reassessment is at 50%. If you're a yearly participant, I forgot, did SPY trigger 2 up on the year to start off? Let me see. Did it? Yeah, it did. We triggered 2 up in the year and then sold off. Okay, so let's say you got in at the February highs. I'm not advocating for that, but let's just say you got in the February highs. If you are taking things as a technical perspective, right, and you're a yearly participant because it triggered 2 up in the year, hey, that whole April tariff stuff, none of it invalidated your setup. April tariff was a TTO on a yearly perspective. On a year, like I want you guys to think about this. You're looking at the daily chart and you see the waves up, down, up, down, up, down. But then if you're looking at a yearly chart, and that's why I tell people, if you're gonna be a leap, there gonna be some drawdowns where it could be a 2-2 down on the 6-month. But if it don't close below, it might just be the wick to go send it right back up. Because if you look back at the I think the monthly is a little bit better. Yeah. Because if you look back, what did SPY do on the monthly? SPY did not close below 50% of the month. or 50% of the year. If you're looking at this and comparing the monthly, right? But we know everything is fractal. So the 6 month is going to be the closest thing affecting the 12 month. The 3 month is going to be the closest thing affecting the 6 month, which affects the 12 month. The monthly is going to affect the 3 month, then the 6 month, then the 12 month. So in reality, if you're a yearly participant, you're worried about the quarterly. You're worried about the monthly. You're worried about those before the daily, before the week. The weekly's cool, but you're worried about that before the daily, before you're not even caring about the 30-minute. And so that's why I tell people, like, if the monthly didn't even close below 50% of the year, the monthly didn't. That whole tariff thing, oh, we going down. But on a technical perspective, they said, what? Liquidity sweep, and this is our TTO back to the upside. On some, like, the market was saying, thank you. No, I don't really mean to say that, but like, thank you, Trump. We need this. This was the yearly pullback. This was the yearly pullback. That was the yearly pullback. And it did not close below. As amazing as it seems, it did not close below. And it's hard. You gonna have to, this is why when we taking things based off the yearly and the 2-year chart, you better have a long-term perspective. It's not PayPal trigger 2 up on the year and oh my gosh, it's month 3. What are we doing? What? Let's talk about it 12 months from now. 12 months from now. Because you have to think like a higher time frame participant. But I promise you, they still doing these moves. SMH, April tariff moves. SMH had the cleanest CCRP on, and they gave you liquidity sweep, hammer on the month, higher time frame signal, the monthly, and what do we do? CCRP, right back to the upside. Right back to the upside for SMH on the monthly. And if you had looked at I'll just show you that. Yeah, this was a great example. Another one, right? KO. And this is 2 examples. This is on the monthly time frame. This is probably like how many? Look at this. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Green candles to the upside. Not only green candles to the upside, then you have a red candle at all-time highs. Y'all know what we thinking about this. I know it's, but don't short at all-time highs, but I'm sorry. You got 11 green candles and you giving me a red candle on the 12th? I'm going to take my chances. And what can you happen? You get that CCRP back down on the monthly time frame. Okay? Now, not only that, look, check this out. And this is why I love these higher time frame signals. Coca-Cola still going down, but then all of a sudden you get this. All of a sudden you get this. And some of you guys remember this trade. Coca-Cola gave you a 1-3 on the month. And this is why, and I say shout out to Abby all the time, because as soon as we saw this, what are we doing? CCRP up, CCRP down, and now you got a potential CCRP to go back up after we came back into supply, which can now be offered as potential demand. And if we look at higher time frame, if we go to the 3-month chart, let me show you this. I'm gonna show you. Oh no, just the monthly. Sorry, just the monthly. So now you have a 1-3 on the month, right? Based on what we know about the strat, you have a potential CCRP. You have a 1-3 liquidity sweep. Oh, and this. How did I forget this? You got OTE as well. How did I forget this? Oh, it's kind of incorporating a little bit of market structure here. Right, you got that low. Well, look at how many confluences you have that you're right at support. Potential OTE bounce back to the upside, tapping into 0.5 on a larger time frame. Oh, and not only that, you displace this range, right? You displace all of this. So, I mean, we can even use the Abby model. This one. Oops. Displace that range, and now you're coming back in, and you have a 1-3. What could potentially happen right there? Right? So, with the 1-3 on the month, and with the 1-3 on the month, potential CCRP back to the upside. Look at what KO did. back talk. And the reason why I'm showing this is because look at the targets. We go to the 2-month chart. Yeah, this is what I want to show. Okay. So, and then once you trigger the 1, 3, 2, there we go. Here we go. This is what I want to show you. So remember how I said that you want to look at the higher time frame. Look at the higher time frame right above to see if the trade is still valid, because you might have a different signal that's telling you something else. Now, one of the other confluences for this trade was once KO triggered a 132 up on the month, you also had, actually, let me ask you guys, what does a 2-month have the potential to do? What does a 2-month have the potential to do? Let me take off these OTE lines just for the sake of this example. Once the monthly triggered a 132 up, what does the 2-month have the potential to do? KM, outside 2-month. Sam, 22 rev, Ram, 3, good. The 2-month chart is still live. I should have said that. The 2-month chart is still live. You swept the lows, and if you mark 50% of this 2-month candle, you are trading above 50% of it. So the monthly triggered a 132 up. The target for that 132 up is this candle right there. That same target is the same for the outside month potential for KO. And this candle opened up in January. So you don't have a new candle until March, and we're currently in the month of February, right? So we're in the month of February. So you have the potential to go outside 2 months because this is the month that the candle is going to be closing. So you can use those two patterns together, those two strat signals together, 132 up on the monthly plus the outside month potential. And I talk about you guys know, talk about bullish and bearish thesis and bullish and bearish confluences. And stay tuned on that because you guys are going to learn more about it. But I would be adding that to my bullish thesis. 132 up on the month, CCRP, potential outside 2 month. And then we see what price does. Boom. I mean, the 132 is powerful. So KO did the thing. So, and not only that, you go outside 2 month. Oh, is my trade over? Is the trade over? You're like, is my trade over? Wait, hold up. It's February. We just went outside 2 month. And now it's like February 17th. So we got about a week left or something. Based off the fact that we went outside 2 month, now let me ask you guys, you got a new 2 month candle open up in March. What does KO have the potential to do? What does KO have the potential to do on the 2 month chart? This is a 2 month. Mind you, y'all, they told us, not in a bad way, so please forgive me. But we was only supposed to be looking at the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and the quarterly and the yearly. No 2 months, no 4 week, no 3 day. But hey, based off this chart, what can we do? We got KM 3-2 up, Caesar 3-2 up. How is it that you guys know a potential for price action based off this time frame that is unconventional? How is it? How is it that you can tell me I can anticipate that something is about to happen based off this time frame structure? How? Right? And based off the 3-2 up, and this is why I keep saying I love the strat, because the strat says, hey, if you trigger a 3-2 up right here, the strat says this is, and that's why I added this signal for the strat comp, because 3-2s are signals. 3-2s are signals. 3-2 potential bullish continuation. So let's go back to the monthly and the 2 month chart. You have the potential based off how this candle closes. And if you trigger, right, let's see what happens. Oops. Oh, why you gotta do it so fast? My bad, y'all. I didn't want to show you yet. Okay. All right, cool. Now, we know that based off the fact that you have the potential to trigger a 3-2 up on the 2 month chart. Have the potential to trigger a 3-2 up on the 2 month chart. And according to the strat, the target is now $73.53. And mind you, if you had taken the trade based off the monthly, you're up 400%. Actually, a lot of people were up like 340%. But then the 2-month chart saying, oh, we still have some time. We still got places to go. It's not over yet. You have the potential to do a 3-2 up, and that can get back into all-time highs. And then what does it do? 3-2 up on a 2-month, and watch. Boom, all-time highs. I want to go back to this price action because you gotta consider this. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna get to 73.53 like tomorrow and it's gonna be easy. We all make money and this is easy. Nah, they said, what? We're gonna trigger 2 up. Let me induce you guys to get in thinking you're gonna go to 73.53, and let me clap y'all real quick for the new ones, for the individuals that got in quote unquote late. But you knew about the 2-month chart. You knew about the monthly, and you said, whoa, we're coming off of an outside hammer or outside bullish engulfing candle. That's very strong. We ain't even going to consider getting out until you get to below 50, at least 50% of this 2-month candle. We won't even consider it. And what do? They try to like, oh, let me get you out real quick. Oh, we're going to go back up again. Oh, we're getting closer to the target. Let's go up. Oh, let's get you back down again. Oh, you thought we're going to get you this time. And you just looking at them like, okay, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm not even budging. You're not even close to that 66.19. Please just carry on with the task, please. And then what do? They're like, we thought we were going to get you. Boom, get to the target. Get to the target. I'm telling y'all. I am telling y'all. Higher time frames, they work. That's why this is just the start. I don't wish for despair, but it's like market makers, I dare y'all to give us a pullback. I dare y'all to give us a pullback. You talking about we gonna take things off the yearly signal? That's what I'm saying. The market is way too high. Like for me, I don't like the market. I mean, I guess they're gonna keep on going because they just want to keep pumping it up. But like, man, take us back to the lows. Take us back so we can get some 1-3s on some yearly, some inside years, some double inside years. That's what I'm telling people. Pepsi was the one waiting to happen. Come on, exit power replay. Pepsi. What was that CCRP? What was it? A Tuma? No. Where was that CCRP? Oh, there it is. They tell you. The CCRP. That's what like they made that. Like, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you got the double outside. With the double outside, it's just a waiting game. It's just a waiting game. But these higher time frame charts, y'all, I can go on and on and on. I talked about what iPay. Let me tell you about iPay. This is what iPay did. This is why it's so cool, dude. It's so cool. We were talking about this. I didn't know what iPay was, bro. But the end of 2023, Vincent here, he probably remembers. Roland, we were talking about this 1-3 on the 6-month chart. I'm going to go back to Discord and see if it has it. We were talking about this. We were like, bro, and because this is when we were like saying, like thinking like, man, are leaps back? Can leaps really do the thing? Like, can leaps really do it? Back in 2023, it did the 1-3. And that's why I look back at it now. I'm like, man, this is so cool. You really did it. Respectfully, it did it. It did it. iPay is here now. iPay is here. iPay was telling us to buy a firm. It was telling us to buy a firm, Hood, Visa, MasterCard, 2023. 2023. People saying leaps are dead. No, you just don't know what a higher time frame signal is yet. They there. Like respectfully, they are there. Talking, and we gonna look back. You guys are gonna remember. Hey, remember when RCL? Oh, respectfully, RCL was just RCL was crazy. Please don't quit. Please, I want everyone to be like, I've been trading, investing for 10 years, man. So we can look back at these times, like when they did these moves, like. Oh man, there was another one. They all did it. They all did it. Higher time frame signals. Higher time frame signals. They really work. We talked about the NVIDIA one, the 2-2 rev on the 6-month chart. That one worked out. 6 month. Shout out to Eddie. Like Eddie, the reason why, like with Eddie, respectfully, with Eddie talking about on the video was his trade. This was the trade. This one. I remember 2020. This was the trade right here. Because he said, bro, NVIDIA is about to trigger a 2-2 rev on the 6 month. You think so? I'm like, man, nah. And this was before they was even hyping it, bro. He was just taking it off a setup. Off of a setup. And they said, you know what? Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, because you triggered a 2-2 up on the 6 month, the target is here. And this is all before the stock split. So I know it says $26 now, but remember, it was a 10 or what was it, 20 to 1 or 10 to 1 stock split. So it was significantly higher. But the chart said the reason why we were saying 300, go back to our Twitter. Go back. You can type in NVIDIA 2023. We were saying NVIDIA to 300, NVIDIA 300, NVIDIA 300. And people are like, why do you think that? Why do you think? Because the strat said so. Because the strat said so. And it did it. It did it. And I couldn't believe my eyes. After that earnings, when it went crazy, I'm telling you this, man, sometimes I'd be trying to be like, man, Strat ain't got it like that. And then all of a sudden it does something phenomenal. And I'm like, man, I'm going to remember this for the next 10 years of my life because of this one move. Because of this one move. And it does it off of a 2-2 rev on a 6 month. 2-2 rev on a 6 month. Look, imagine. That's why, man, you better tell your kids. Imagine, y'all. Imagine NVIDIA if you knew about Strat back in 2016 and you just stumbled upon a 6 month time frame and be like, NVIDIA has a potential 3-1. Oh my gosh, man. I can't wait till we're all millionaires. I can't wait. Because look at this. Imagine NVIDIA triggered a 3-1-2 up on the 6 month chart. And you're like, you know what, y'all? I don't know if it could do it, but I heard something about like something called like a 3-1-2 see you later. I don't really know what that does, but like apparently if it triggers like the upside, it's supposed to like do more candles to the upside or something like that. And imagine if you didn't even know and you just decided to buy like 2 years worth of NVIDIA. Just 2 years, leaps. Just because of a 3-1-2 on the 6 month. And you were able to take advantage of all of this. Like of all this. It never invalidated. It never invalidated. It never, like, that's why these charts, I'm saying, man, we all stumbled about, like, man, no. I want to hear, man, I've been in this trade for a year. Bet. That's why I'm mad about Zscaler. I wish I held it longer than I did just so I could disrespect the market more and be like, y'all really thought y'all was going to get me out negative 70%. Y'all really thought. Just for you to do the move that we've said that we wanted it to do. Bro, we got in. What was it? Where was that? Where was that 3 on a month? Where was it? Because it was back in November. Where is it? November. Oh yeah, it was this 3-2 up on a 3 month that tried to get me out of. I'm telling y'all, we got in this because of this. Hold on. There's a reason. 3-2 up, and then where's the 6 month chart? I got to bring you the 6 month. 6 month. 6 month. Then go to the 3-2 up. Okay, boom. All right. So ZS, right? This trade, the infamous Zscaler. I got back into this sleep, and this is why I'm telling y'all, like, this shit is cool. Like, I got back into this sleep in November, and I can look up the Discord chat in November, and I just wanted to see something. I was like, you know what? I've been like these trades. The strats say they're supposed to work out. Let me see if they really work out or not, right? You had at least for me, I was like, yo, this is like market structure. I know Zscaler is a bullish stock. This looks like something that could do something like this. You came back into OTE, and I was thinking on some like Elliott wave, like, 0.618 on a higher time frame. Like, this is what's supposed to happen. This is what's supposed to happen. So you know what? This is November. I say, hey, y'all. And I didn't even do it correctly because it triggered 3-2 up on the 3 month. So I'm like, all right, it's going to take at least 6 months to play out, or let me get 6 months because to anticipate the second 3-up candle. So we got June's, right? Once it triggered the 3-2 up on the 6 month. Now, mind you, this is the entry. Right here. So if I'm a 3-2 up on the 3 month time frame, that's my entry. My invalidation is this low right here. Okay, that's my invalidation. And if I go here, second, 1 second. Okay, cool. So 3-2 up on the 3 month, right? And I find it. Yeah. Cool. Okay, found it. All right. Okay, so back in November 2024, June calls, right? Stop loss is going to be 2 down. It's supposed to be 2 down on the 3 month chart, not on the month, 2 down on the 3 month chart. Now, this is what happens. Okay. Price triggers 2 up on the 3 month. Remember where our invalidation is. And I'm thinking like this is going to be a market structure type of trade. Look at how the 3 month closed. The 3 month closed as a shooter. And this is January. Back in January, right? Back in January, we're down. January, we're down on this position. But hey, am I supposed to get out even though I'm down? Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I can't get out because it didn't invalidate my setup or my thesis, right? Now, price, see what happens. This is still January, right? We're still in. And I think at this time, like at the low, we were down 50% on this. And look what happens. Look at the 6 month and the 3 month chart. Because I was a 3 month and a 6 month participant. Because my anticipation is that we're going to get to this 260 right here. That's my target. So now look at the 3 month chart. 3 month chart, does it trigger? Oh, I don't even think it triggered yet. Not yet. See, still holding. We can't do anything. This is now April. There is nothing that we can do. Unfortunately, as much as like, oh yeah, there's nothing we can do. Okay. Now, oh, and I think, oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. I remember this. Because I remember in November, I was getting, not November. I think January went down 43%. I was getting DMs. I was getting those DMs. So back, remember, May, we're still in the trade. I haven't updated this ZS trade. But I wanted to show y'all something to be like, hey, don't stop letting your emotions get in trade. That's what I tell people. Like, if you're really going to be in this trade, like back in November, I looked at ZS and said, like, bro, you're going to pay me next year. But people want to get paid in December, in January. That's what I tell people, like, are you really about that long game? Some of y'all be saying y'all about the long game, and I'm like, really? Are you really about the long game? You really about the long game? 6 months to a year to 2 years? Can you really hold a position? Bro, been down on PayPal for what? Ever since it triggered 2 up on a year. Long game. If you don't have to take the trigger. But if you look at a trade and you're like, hey, this is a 113 on the year and the target is $400 away because it's meta, some people may want that. And they gonna know with the understanding that you just gotta hold. So let's see what happens. Price, it goes down. 212 down on the 3 month. But am I supposed to get out? Oh, no. That was too quick. We gotta show people we were down. Too quick. Look at this. 212 down on the 3 month. But my invalidation is still 153.45. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do. Did it invalidate my setup? Nope. I'm down 50%, 60%. Hey, it triggered 2 up on a 6-month time frame. It's still targeted and validated until proven otherwise. And then what happens? We get a wick liquidity sweep. And you know what ZS continues to do? We get the 1-3 on the 3-month. Hold up, we're not done. We get the 1-3 on the 3-month, and they continue to go to our target. To our target. Look at this. Back in May, from holding November, we came back 6%, and I was so happy, y'all. 6%. I'm like, man, I held this the entire time. Just for 6%. 6%. Y'all. And then we finally, hold on. And this one, I wish I not to sound like, I wish I disrespected this chart more, bro. Like, because what it did is create from November, y'all. And we ended up, this was at, hold on, 5/16, we were up 21%, right? 5/16, we were up 21%. Let me go to the weekly chart. Let me go to the weekly chart just to show you. That was 5/16. 5/16, we were up 21%. This is this candle right here, right? 5/16. Look what ZS perceived. And we're in the 250 calls, mind you. We're in the 250 calls for June 20th. Hold on. June 20th. You know what they did? May 19th, they said you can go to 253. May 27th, they said, you know what, we're going to give you 277. And you still got a week left. And then they said, you know what? No, sorry, 1 week left? How did I disrespect you? You still got 2 weeks left, sorry. And then they said, oh, you know what, June 2nd, sorry, that you know what? We didn't, because we apologize for you having to hold that much. You know what? Let me just give you some extra. And then they gave you what? On June 2nd, 303, we had 250 calls. 250 calls. Did my play invalid? And people would say, oh, no, you just held because you had money in it and you didn't want to lose the money. Bro, what? My invalidation say 153.45 right there. What do you mean? My invalidation was right there, 153.45. Right there. The chart said hold till June. Because you got in based off the 3-month and the potential 6-month. You got in November saying, I'ma see you next summer. And this is what I'm telling you guys. Yo, you had to hold through the -40. You had to hold through the -50. You had to hold through the -60. But if it didn't invalidate my thesis, oh well. Oh well. It ain't no, oh, luck. No. The chart said don't get out. Starbucks 10-day said don't get out. That's why, and this is why, bro, trading is my favorite thing to talk about. It's crazy because look what they do. Look what it does. Look what it does. And you could be in it. And I told you guys, my journal, it's not me. My journal told me, hey, ADEX, the ones that you hold on to the longest, they end up being the ones that land. I'm like, oh. So when people, why does he hold on to the long? It's not because I want to. I promise you, it's not because I want to. It's not. It's just the trade saying, hey, man, unfortunately, I know we getting close to that validation, but yeah, you didn't validate yet. I'm like, man, really? You got to let me go through this again? And it's like, yeah, go wash the dishes. Go come back 2 days later. I'm like, all right, cool. Man, it's cool, y'all. It's cool. But I know I talked a lot. How is this? How is this lesson? Does this help? Does this help at all? Does this help at all? Please let me know in the chat. Does this help at all? Cool. All right. What trading view indicator shows you whether it's up or down? Crinkle. Let me just send you this. It's, what is it? Time frame continuity by board writer B. Time frame continuity by board writer B. That's the one. Time frame continuity by board writer B. Yeah. Okay. If you take a starter on a higher time frame, Oh, and I can actually probably show you with that ZS trade, because I didn't even average down on ZS until, I think, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I think maybe like a month or two later. And so that's why I tell people, like, when you are taking something up, like Vincent, man, Vincent's the GOAT, bro. Vincent be knowing how to teach, but like he would let him teach you about fractals. Let him teach you about fractals. But when you take something on the yearly or the quarterly, right? You got to consider that quarter is 3 months. That first month may not be the move. Like, I know we wanted to with trigger 2 up, but that first month could be the manipulation month. Or I don't know what they call it, manipulate. Vincent knows more about it. But that first month may not be the month, right? Where it does it. Like, it could be the second month or the third month. So a lot of times when I'm taking something off the quarterly or higher, it's with the understanding that when I get this starter, like, I'm not gonna, and that's why don't even look, when you get a starter, don't even look at it. Like, go in with telling yourself, this is not gonna pay me until 3 months. So if it's not gonna pay you in 3 months, would you wanna go heavy on that trade right now and forfeit yourself from getting into other positions that are supposed to pay you in a day or a week because you're like now stuck in this trade for 3 months? And I say this especially for the beginners, because beginners not every trade alert is the same. Not every trade alert is the same. One trade alert is, we don't expect this to get paid until years from now or months from now. But that's why you got to understand the alert. You have, or not even understand the alert, but understand the idea. Because not every alert, like with Starbucks, I love the Starbucks trade, because at that moment in time, it seems like when everyone was getting mad, I felt like, I was like, man, why is everybody mad at me? I was like, I went into Starbucks knowing that's going to take 3 months. It's Starbucks. But the fact that it actually played out, now people are like, oh, so because you were a 10-day participant, you didn't even expect it to take at least 10 days. I'm like, yeah, we got it on day 1 out of 10. What's supposed to happen, right? So with that being said, you scale according to the time frame, well, amongst other things. But one of the reasons how you scale is according to the time frame thesis. It could be OTE, it could be because of a lower time frame signal, but you want to consider the time frame thesis. I promise you right now, there's some positions that Vincent is in, or even Ash is in from next year, or Gotti is in for next year, March, June. And I'll ask him, hey, Vincent, are you full size? He'll look at me crazy. I'll be like, what? Full size? We only in September. Why would I be full size? I'm like, oh, my bad. Because he understands, like, no, the fractals, things have to add up. You have to get maybe a 2 down candle. And remember how I always talk about, like, kind of, if you can imagine, like this, I'd be doing that. I'd be imagining, like, all right, if we got a 1-3 on the quarter, ooh, IEO is a perfect one. IEO is a perfect one. IEO is a perfect one. IEO is a, where is it at? That one. There you go. IEO right there. So IEO, this is what I keep saying, bro, that I can't. Oh man, I hope oil proves people wrong next year. I hope oil proves people wrong. But anyway, so IEO, it got a 1-3 on a monthly. You guys, yeah, you take a screenshot for yourself. This is what it looks like right now, right? So when I think about this, I'm like, I see what you can do. You may not do it, but I see what you can do. So I'm already thinking, like, man, 2026 ain't even the answer for me. 2027. And because I got to think about late 2026, early 2027, that I shouldn't even dare think about, like, oh, sizing in right now. Like, because the way it could work, it could be a 2 up this month. It can close at a red shooter. Next month could go inside. Then the next month after that could go 2 down, but you're still holding 50% of this 3. So then you bounce off of that. And before you even make it back to your entry point, it's 4 months have surpassed, right? So you have to consider you must consider the time frame that you are going to be a participant for. And that is how you're going to be able to strategize. All right, how do I add into this play? How do I average into this position or add into this position? There's going to be some positions that may run like you thought about it, like, oh, this is going to be a 3 month type of trade. I can't wait to get in. Like it will give me some time to get in. But some trades, they won't. AOK was a great example. I thought AOK, because it had like 2-month triggers, 3-month triggers. I was like, oh, AOK not gonna run until like 2-3 weeks. They said, no, we only give you a 1 week TTO. Hold on. 1 week TTO? Yeah. Only because it had a wait, where is it? Yeah, because it was a 3-1-3. Inside week, and you better get in on this inside or we are out of here. And mind you, it had a 3-month trigger. It had a 2-2 rev on a 3 month. So I was like, oh yeah, it's going back to 77. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get some next years and like we can just wait. And okay, said, you better get that started right now, or we gonna take off without you. And hey, it took off without me. You know? So, but oh wow, look at this beautiful double inside. That's cool. Double inside. See? Man, strappy stratting. Double inside quarter, and look what it did. 2 ups. With 2 ups. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, Jackie. Hopefully that answers your question. Kind of like with that DoorDash example, right? You really, if I'm taking this 2 up on the year and it's going with the understanding that I'm getting December 2024s or January, March 2025s, you have to consider that quarterly potentially doing a 2-2 down, right? And it's same thing. Like if you mark your low and your high, DoorDash came into OTE. So it's just it's the same market structure principles that like Abby, Vincent, Nog that we talk about. It's just on a higher time frame. And that's like what the main that's what's kind of like fascinating to me. Like SPY, that whole April tariff stuff, y'all. Because you know me, man, I love downside. So when the market go down, I'm like, oh shit, we about to go to 360 and I can buy some shares. And all of a sudden we TTO, we hammer on the month and we come right back up. I'm like, yeah, market structure is just market structure. Market structure is market structure. It's so cool how it works. It's so cool how it works. But time in the market. Like y'all know me. Like I get so I feel like I get more excited with trading the more I progress, because the more stuff I learn and like the more experiences I have. Because think about it. Prior to 2023, I wouldn't be able to talk to you about this DoorDash example. And I love this DoorDash example. Like I don't even have a lot of shares of DoorDash, but I talk about this so much. Like I love DoorDash just because of the stock, and I'm not even in it that much. Just because I'm like, if somebody say, "Hey, do you guys know what your stock did?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, never mind." But anyway, so it's just like so cool just seeing how price action does. Like I pay. We was talking about iPay 2 years ago. I paid 2 years ago, and it did it. And it did it. That's why I'm so fast. And I've said this for those that have been in the server. You guys have heard this line. I've said this. I said, I can't wait for 2, 3, 4 years from now because we can talk about the price action that happened a year ago, 2 years ago. And guess what? We're doing it. We said that. I wish I had that weekly watch list video. It's going to be from 2022 where we said, hey, I can't wait to look back at iPay and see what it did. And it did it. So that's why nobody can tell me like, man, what? That's why, bro. I told you. Hold on, wait. I mean stocks. It's cool, y'all. It's cool. It's one of the reasons. Where is it? Where is it? Dude, this is so cool. This is so cool. Like, dude, y'all better pay attention to like leaps and like stocks, because remember you guys know how I've been talking about like PEP and stuff, right? Like the reason why I say it's not on some BS, it's just on some like, yo, these higher time frame charts are like saying this. Like this is back in February, y'all. This was back in February. PEP, we were talking about PEP, and guess what we even said? Energy can potentially move higher. ZOM also a possibility soon. What are they doing now? What are they doing? Literally as we speak, what are they doing now, y'all? Let's go, ZOM. What's ZOM doing? ZOM, hold on. What is ZOM doing right now? What has ZOM been doing right now? Coming back to the highs. It's not over. It is not over. It is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm telling you, just higher time frames. Higher time frames. Higher time frames. That's all I'm gonna say. Higher time frames. They work. They work. All right, y'all. Any other questions? My bad. I know I'm gone over time. Any other questions? Any other questions? Hey, I appreciate that, Invictus. I appreciate that, man. Hey, y'all know, as long as you guys don't mind me going on my rants, talking, just like I said, I just go through charts at night, just think to myself, like, man, why did this happen? I talk to myself a lot. You guys hear it, and that's why, like, I want y'all to like learn for yourself. Like, you'll see things that occur that's like, whoa, it happened. It did this again. It did this last year. Like, it repeated. And you learn it from like you understanding it. Like, what do you take from it? Like, what can you take from it? And that's why there really is no wrong answer. That's the beauty about this. There really is. Just how do you perceive this information? How do you perceive it? If you perceive it as, oh, 212 up means donkey, 212 down means unicorn. Hey, I don't care. As long as it make you money, bro, unicorn and donkey all day, all right? I don't care. I don't care. All right, y'all? Just make money. All right? So I appreciate all of you guys for being here for the first beginner and charting Q&A, charting Q&A themed lesson. Hope you all enjoyed. This is recorded. And yeah, we're going to continue next week. I got to check the schedule. Next week is going to be broadening formations. Broadening formation. So for those that are beginner, new to the strat, need some help with drawing broadening formation, we'll go over that. Then the week after that, we're going to take a break. And then following that week is going to be the strat plus OTE. And hey, y'all do me a favor. All you got to do is just message Abby and convince him to be a part of that lesson so we can both do it at the same time. It's like 3 weeks from now, so that gives him plenty of time to like be there. All you got to do is just DM him, and then we'll be able to do the lesson together. All right, y'all. So appreciate you guys for being here. I will have this recording as soon as it's done converting to a file. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I will catch y'all later. Peace out, everybody. I said, why you whisper? Hey, for dramatic effect, you know. You're welcome, y'all. You're welcome. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.